Welcome to Trivia Tangents, the podcast where we turn everyday passions into surprising trivia deep dives. I'm your host, Lena, and each week I quiz a friend on something that they know way too much about, turning everyday passions into trivia gold. We all know that on trivia night, the bigger the team, the better you'll play. So that's why I bring the team together here on Trivia Tangents. Today's guest is Elizabeth, who's here to talk all about foot archery. So get ready for some fun facts you'll definitely want for your next trivia night. Okay, hi Elizabeth!
Hello!
Welcome to the pod. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here with you, Lena. This is awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. It has been so incredibly overdue for us to do a catch up, and what a fun topic to discuss as we do a little catch up together as well.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, so we're recording on a Friday. We have some fun weekend plans. I'm drinking a little matcha in my Sunrise Shack mug. Elizabeth got a little Starbucks.
Actually, Nautical Bean, shout out. It's local to San Luis Obispo. Did I take you there when you came here like a long time ago?
You did take me there.
Okay, that's like my favorite coffee shop down the street.
Oh my gosh,
I love
sorry.
Starbucks too.
Apologies. It looked like a Starbucks cup.
Like a little.
But yes, I love it. And what was your order again?
We got a iced vanilla latte, half sweetened with oat milk.
I love that. It sounds so good.
Yes. Very basic.
So just to give the listeners a little bit of background on my fabulous guest, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is my super talented friend. She was a college cheerleader. She graduated college an entire year early. She is a professional personal trainer, a bread baker enthusiast, and a fellow Swiftie, and my very, very good friend. We did meet the first year of college at UC Davis, where we became quote-unquote twins with the same big sister in our sorority. That feels so long ago, doesn't it?
It's almost 10 years ago.
Is it
crazy?
Actually, that makes me feel so old.
Yeah, because we're 27 and we were 18.
Oh.
I know. We have our 10-year high school reunions next year, so.
That's exciting. Are you going to go?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
don't
it depends. It depends on who's going. I've always said that because people have asked me, I'm like, okay, who's going to be there? Like, am I going to have friends there? Then I'd probably go. But
yeah.
Just, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah, we've been friends for a while. So glad we're catching up. And today we are discussing the crazy, amazing, talented sport. Is it a sport? But
I don't know.
Foot archery.
I don't know if it's a sport.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear your perspective, pick your brain about this one. It was really hard to pick just one topic here because, like I said earlier in the intro, Elizabeth is so incredibly talented. You guys should check out her TikTok. She has so many cool hobbies. So this one, we're talking about foot archery, and we'll see. Maybe down the line we can do other episodes.
Definitely. Yeah.
Alrighty, so today we have 3 sections we're discussing. 1, the origins of recreational archery. 2, the art of foot archery. 3, modern day archery competitions. Are you ready for question 1?
Let's get into it. I'm so excited.
Trivia question 1. Which historical figure is credited with helping transform archery from a military skill into a popular recreational pastime in England? I see your face already. Okay. I'll give you options here.
Thank you.
A, William the Conqueror. B, King Henry VIII. C, Robin Hood. Or D, Queen Elizabeth I.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I want to say Queen Elizabeth because, the name. What was the first one? Go back to the first one.
First one. A, William the Conqueror.
A. I have no clue.
Unfortunately, you're wrong.
Idea. Who is it?
0 for 1. 0 for 1. The answer was King Henry VIII.
That was gonna be my second choice.
It's always a second choice, isn't
Always
it?
a second choice.
Ugh. Well, anyways, here's a little deep dive, just so you can try and remember this for trivia nights in the future when this comes up. King Henry VIII was a major proponent of archery for the common people, passing laws in the 16th century that required Englishmen to practice archery. Though it was initially for military preparedness, of course, it laid the groundwork for archery as a sport and social activity. And then later in the 19th century, archery became an organized sport with competitions and social clubs, making it a leisure activity that still persists today. In fact, I do live next to Golden Gate Park, and there is an archery range literally probably a 3-minute walk from me.
Oh my gosh. Have you checked it out?
I have. These people look very passionate, and it also seems like they're living out their LARP dreams.
Oh, I can see that.
Elizabeth, I am so curious to know your beginnings with archery. So, how familiar were you with regular hand upper body archery initially?
I absolutely love this question because I had never shot a bow with my hands, like ever,
Ever.
ever, ever. So in middle school, they had an archery class, and they took it out of the program the year before me, and I was like so excited about it, whatever. But I guess it's not too safe for middle schoolers to be shooting around bows and stuff, so they cut the program. At least that's what I heard. And so yeah, I straight up went into this with zero experience, no clue what I was doing.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. That brings me to another question, which I know I didn't prep you with, but like, how did you pick this up? Like, what
Okay,
inspired you
what
to
crazy,
pick
yeah.
up a bow?
Okay, so backstory, how I do foot archery is like, I don't know if you have a video of it to show with this, but I
Oh,
do it in
I will definitely
handstand.
show a video.
Yeah, so it's like acrobatic or foot archery, and I do it with a handstand bent over, so you're arched over and shooting with your feet. So I call it acrobatic archery or foot archery. It's kind of both. But basically, it was 2021. I went to the circus in town. Like, I think it's Circus Vargas is what it's called. They come to town like once a year.
Mhm.
Um, and I love new challenges. Like I hyper focus on something and it's fun. It's what I do. I was a gymnast growing up, so I saw this girl and she was doing it on, at the circus. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Like I want to be able to do that. And so I took it on, and for like that entire summer, I just every day was practicing and teaching myself. So it's just kind of like a little challenge. Like I saw it and I was like, I bet I could figure it out. I have the gymnastics background, and then
Yeah.
went from there.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for
Hmm.
sharing. And we'll get into like your props and everything
Yeah.
in later sections. But could you remind me what year was that when you started that?
2021.
Okay, so it's
So
like not peak COVID, kind of like peak,
still COVID times.
yeah,
Yeah.
still COVID times,
Definitely.
but like people were out and about with masks and stuff.
Yeah. COVID hobby, probably.
Yeah,
It's
COVID
kind of,
hobby for
yeah.
sure.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. And so that kind of covers my next question of what drew you to foot archery specifically.
Mm,
Um, yeah. But I guess in that time, like, did you also practice with your hands or was it just feet?
a little bit, but like I was so hyper focused on
Yeah.
figuring out how to do it that like I would pick it up and like kind of practice with my hands here and there, just to understand how the bow works. And then I like went to the like local archery place. It's called Central Coast Archery, and I like shot with my hands a little bit there. And like some people gave me a couple pointers, but basically everything that I was learning with my hands was so that I could figure out how to better do it with my feet.
Oh my gosh. I
So
love that.
yeah.
She's a monkey, you guys. She- She's so talented. Let's jump into section 2. This is my favorite section, and I think you'll get the question right. So, section 2, the art of foot archery. Are you ready for question 2?
Let's dive in.
Which British performer and foot archer was featured on Britain's Got Talent and holds the title of the world's first foot archer to shoot fire arrows upside down? A. Shannon Jones. B. Rosa Vallow. C. Emily Chong. Or D. Orissa Kelly.
B. Orissa Kelly.
Yeah! I knew you'd get that right. I knew you'd get that right.
I follow her on Instagram. Only reason I know.
You do.
Yeah.
Of course you do. So I wonder, in that circus that you saw, like, what are the odds that it was her?
It wasn't, because I have a video of it.
Okay.
But pretty high, honestly, because like if I didn't have that video, I'd say like probably pretty high, because I know she does a lot of performances all over. Like she performs at NBA halftimes, which is so cool. So cool. And all sorts of other stuff. So yeah. But
yeah, I was looking at her website in preparation for this episode, and like, you can book her for a private event.
Yes. Yeah. I know. That's so like cool. The one thing I was like, maybe I should consider that, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah,
because like if you mess up, then it's like, oh, scary. I want my money back. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like it's a bow and there's an arrow, and that's like super dangerous if you like.
Yep.
You know, like it's still a weapon.
Yep.
So there's that.
Yeah. The element of danger is, you know, what makes it so interesting, though.
Yes, but, for sure.
I know you already know all about Orissa Kelly and you follow her on Instagram, but just to give the listeners a little bit of background and a little shout out to Orissa Kelly, I have a little section that I want to read about her. So Orissa Kelly is a professional foot archer from Watford, England. Orissa began gymnastics, just like us, at the age of 3 and went on to compete for Great Britain. At the age of 17, she canceled her university application just months before starting and followed her heart by joining the circus. In April 2015, Orissa bought her first bow and arrow. She went to a cricket field and began teaching herself a skill that was absolutely unheard of. After training every day, 6 hours a day, for 6 months, she created her foot archery act that would go on to take her around the world. Just like Elizabeth, she had no previous archery knowledge before 2015 and actually learnt with her feet before her hands. And her signature move is shooting flaming arrows with her feet upside down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The fire, it's just crazy.
Yeah. So where did you first learn about her?
Oh my gosh. I think so. I feel like all my friends will send me, including you probably, have sent me like videos of random gymnastics people or like foot archers. And so I think someone probably just sent me like a video of her doing foot archery. And I don't remember when, but years ago, like when I had started out. And I actually DM'd her when I was trying to learn. She didn't answer, but like I get it. I like, she has so many followers and I'm like, don't have any comparatively. And I think she's actually commented on something of mine since. So like,
oh, cool.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know, but
I love that.
Basically, I was asking her like, hey, like I'm new to this. What kind of bow should I use?
Oh,
like,
see,
there's
like
no one to ask.
Question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I figured it out myself and I did my own, research. But I was like, let's see if she answers. I get it though. It's like people with so many followers, like influencers and stuff. Like it's so hard to keep up with everything. So
so you guys might have seen Orissa Kelly on Britain's Got Talent in 2016. I will link the clip and put it on the Instagram. It's pretty cool. She like pretends to shoot the host, like when they're doing their little background interview. She's like, watch out. And they're like playing around. She also did some stunts for Wonder Woman. Did you know that?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's like cool? My favorite. I'm like, that is goals, honestly. That would be so cool.
So freaking cool. She probably met Gal Gadot.
Yeah. I love that movie too. So
same. Love that movie. Yeah, so for Wonder Woman, a fun fact, sad fact, not a fun fact, they actually did not use the footage that she filmed. Um,
Okay, I thought that might be the case because I've seen it,
yeah,
and I was like, I haven't seen foot archery on it, I don't think,
right, exactly.
but I knew that she was in it.
Yes. So I watched an interview and she was saying that the stunt coordinator said, quote, "It was too ridiculous even for Wonder Woman."
No way. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. T. What?
Yeah, so they were just like, "Nope, these Amazon ladies or whatever they were, this is too advanced for them. They're
I
not
feel like
like."
that's kind of a little flex over here.
Yeah. That's what she was saying. She's like, "Yeah, I guess that's a compliment."
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. She's so
Oh my God.
talented.
I
In
know.
addition to filming on Wonder Woman, she performed for Her Majesty the Queen herself. And I don't know what year this was, but it's posted on her website, the quote. She's obviously very, very proud of this moment to
Of
perform for the
course.
Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Queen said, quote, "I was most impressed by her performance. Her Majesty the Queen."
Oh my gosh. I love it. I mean, I'd be bragging about that. That's so cool.
Yeah, especially for someone who's, British. Like, that's
Yes. Yeah.
ultimate goals.
Amazing.
And then last place, you guys might have seen her, is for winning a Guinness World Record.
Mhm.
She is the Guinness World Record holder for furthest arrow shot with feet whilst being set on fire, which is called a body burn. I've seen a video and it's crazy because they have to spray her down with a fire extinguisher afterwards
Oh
because
my
there's fire
gosh.
on her legs.
Oh,
It's
I don't know
crazy.
if I could do I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, please,
I think
Elizabeth,
that's
don't do
where
that.
I think that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Oh my gosh, she's so crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah. She's always like trying to push the boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So for this world record, she basically shot it 7 meters. And for my Americans listening, that's 22.96 feet, which is really far.
That's far.
And then last piece of, little fun fact here before we get into our tangents. I did mention Shannon Jones as one of the answers, the multiple choice answers. And I don't know, does that name ring a bell at all to you?
I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. Um, is she like Shannon Michaela, I think, on Instagram?
Oh, I don't know her Instagram, but
Can I see it if I
yeah, go ahead
let me
and
see,
check.
let me pull it up. I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. Shannon, oh, there she is. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Yep. I know exactly who
Yeah,
this is.
Shannen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. I like can see it. Too bright.
Well,
Yeah.
why don't we tag her?
Yeah.
Um,
Tag her.
but yeah, I wanted to include her on that list
Hmm.
because she is also extremely
Also,
talented.
yes.
And I kind of wanted to trip you up. I was like, oh, both of these people are foot archery acrobats. So shout out
Yeah.
to Shannon Jones. She also has a Guinness World Record.
Hmm.
So very impressive. Hers is a little different. She has farthest arrow shot using feet at 18.27 meters. And remember, Arissa's was 7 meters, but Arissa was set on fire. So a little different.
That statement is just insane. I will not get over
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think Shannon's done some stuff like on a skateboard even too, like moving on the
Really?
skateboard and hitting target. Yeah, she does some really cool stuff.
That's so cool.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to make sure Shannon got a little shout out, not leave her
Yes.
out because she's so talented too.
She is.
So, okay, let's do our discussion tangents. I want to learn more
Okay.
about you and your
Cool.
journey with this. So, we kind of touched on like how you got into it, but I want to know
Hmm.
more about the training process.
Hmm.
So, what was your process for combining flexibility and archery?
Oh my goodness. So I happened to be working full time at a gym when
Mhm.
I started foot archery. And so I had a lot of like extra time between training and classes and stuff. And so and resources too. So like I used when I first started, you know, those like long bands, like pull-up bands, like really long, like elastic bands in gyms.
Oh yeah, physical
Like I call
therapy
them
bands.
kind of, but I call them pull-up bands. I can send you exactly what it is if you
Okay.
are curious, but they're just like the
Yeah.
long, thinner ones. Like you can do, like people will put them on the bars to like help them with pull-ups, kind of like that.
Oh, yes. And they're
There's
kind of
some,
like a cube. They're kind of like a
yes,
cube shape down. Yep, I
yes.
also use those in physical therapy. Those are
Okay.
more um what's the word?
Tension? Then
Tension
I don't know.
and more structured than like
Yes.
thin
Then the
bands. So
yes. Yeah.
yeah, so you can
So
like
I,
really put your weight on it.
yeah. So, I like came back from the circus and I was like, I think I'm gonna figure out how to do this. I didn't have a bow yet, and there were those bands sitting around, and I had one of the lighter ones, and I figured out kind of like how to position myself and like how to shoot using a band. So it was
Like
I put the
like
band like
shooting a rubber
between,
band.
yeah, like shooting a rubber band, exactly. And so I did it sitting down to like figure out how to grip it. And
Hmm.
then I did it with a handstand. It was kind of an easy thing to fail with because it wasn't like a bow that would just fall if I like let go of it or whatever.
Yeah.
So I started out with that. My dad actually helped me make handstand canes. That's what they're called. The
Nice.
little props you go on. You don't have to use those, but a lot of like the circus artists and like anyone you see will usually do the archery on handstand canes. Um,
Hmm.
and so my dad helped me like build them and everything. And at the same timing we did that, I ordered a $30 kids bow off of Amazon, just like
Nice.
technically a recurve style. It was just like a super
Hmm.
cheap bow,
Hmm.
super light, like, you know, the whole thing. And I remember that when that came in the mail, and like kind of like I remember shooting it in my parents' backyard just to kind of like play around with it. And I made like so there's this thing called a biscuit on a bow, which is holds the arrow in place. And
Okay.
I was like trying to figure out because the bow I had didn't have a biscuit or anything to hold the arrow in place, and you need that if you're kicking over into a handstand because the arrow will just fall out.
Mm,
So I was
of
like,
course.
that was a big point of like, okay, what do I do? So I made a duct tape makeshift biscuit. Like I just looped around duct tape and like adhered it to the bow.
Yeah.
And so I just rigged it up and like practiced with that, and it was super janky. Um, Practiced with it for a few months just to get the right positioning, and it was
Yeah.
a lot of like trial and error and figuring out how to get my feet all the way upside down, like over my head into the right
Uh-huh.
position, and lots of
Uh-huh.
lower back training for flexibility and also making sure my lower back stayed strong so that it was like
Yep.
not also hurting me. So it was like,
Yep.
I was even noticing like I do a lot of strength training. And so as I was doing so much more flexibility stuff with my lower back, I was noticing like I do back squats and I was like, my low back just felt weaker.
Mm.
And so I had to like
Mm-hmm.
shift around even my strength training to make sure that I was not hurting myself there. And
Mm-hmm.
so strengthening my core, strengthening my low back because I was doing so much more flexibility. Anyways,
Yeah.
so then after that, I went and purchased a real bow once I felt like I was close enough to doing it and ready to make an
Yeah.
investment, and spent $300 on a bow, and that's the one I still shoot with.
Damn.
Hmm.
$300. Okay. So the props here.
That was a lot. I just kind of went over the
Yeah, it
props
was a
too,
lot.
but
No, I love it. So,
okay.
giant rubber band,
Yes.
or pull-up band.
Yeah.
Um,
Giant rubber band's kind of fun
the
to say.
Yeah. Okay.
I like
Giant rubber band,
that.
handstand pedestals for your
Canes.
hands, canes, handstand canes.
Handstand canes is what they're called.
Okay.
But they're kind of like pedestals, I guess,
Okay. They look like
a little bit.
pedestals. They're called canes. So,
Yeah.
giant rubber band, handstand canes, kid arrow, bow and arrow to start, duct tape to
Hmm.
make the biscuit, and then eventually you graduated to like a heavy duty, not heavy duty, but like legit bow and arrow.
Hmm.
And then did you
So
also have like a target set up?
yeah, so I'll tell you about the bow and then I'll tell you about the target because I
Okay.
had to get my bow specifically made, like for
Whoa.
me. Well, kind of. I went in to Central Coast Archery. They're awesome there. I'd like never been in before, and I walk in and I show them my toy bow and arrow from Amazon, and I was like, "This is what I do. I do foot archery, and I have this. Can you help me get a real bow? I don't know what I'm doing." And they were
Oh my
like,
God, I'm
"What the
sure they
heck?"
loved that.
Yeah. So I found a Genesis bow. It's a compound bow, but it was a kid's style because it was a little bit smaller. So it's like a real
Hmm.
bow and arrow, compound one, because there's compound and recurve. I don't know if you touched on that much, but um, anyways, kid style, so a little smaller, a little bit lighter, and then they like put on this, I don't even know what it's called. There's like a grip part for where you pull back on the
Yeah.
actual like string. And then they
Yeah.
added that for me, and then they added the biscuit so that I could hold it in place.
Yeah.
And then I got specific arrows that would be just like lighter ones, not really for hunting, more for
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was that. And then I initially, this is bad, but I had a tree in my parents' backyard. I was like, great target.
Oh,
I
great.
just
Poor
like put a
tree.
balloon. I know. I only shot at the tree once, and it's fine. The
Okay.
tree is okay. But I had these balloons, and I just like kind of put the balloon, like taped it onto the tree because um,
Hmm.
and that first day that I got that bow, I that was the first day I like hit the balloon target for the first time. So like same day I got the new
Wow.
bow, I hit the balloon,
Okay.
which
And so that,
was December, and I started in July of 2021.
wow. Okay. Okay. Amazing. So basically half a year. And then probably hitting that target was like
Yes.
um, a huge achievement
Milestone?
and
Yeah.
also, yeah, milestone and also like reiterated or helped you feel more confident in that $300
Yeah.
decision.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna like buy a real bow until I knew like, okay, like I've spent
Yeah.
so much time with this. And it was kind of crazy because I realized like the day I got the bow, I made it and I was like, oh, so my rigged up $30 bow, like was kind of the reason I wasn't hitting super
Yeah.
straight because it was kind of
Uh-huh.
janky. But anyways, last thing after that day, my dad set up a wooden board in their backyard for me to shoot at,
Hmm.
just like a pretty big wooden board. And so that's in my parents' backyard now, and I can like tape balloons to it and stuff if I want to. So
Oh, that's great.
pretty cool.
Perfect.
Hmm.
I love that. So, my other follow up question about your training is in terms of holding a handstand. I know,
Hmm.
we both did gymnastics. You were definitely got to a higher level than me, but in my training, one of the like drills we did was like a handstand game. Who can hold a handstand the
Yes.
longest?
Yes.
So for you, I'm sure you already had that sort of
Yeah.
like skill ingrained in you. So
Yeah.
how long can you hold a handstand?
Oh, great question. So yeah, that's not something I super touched on with my training before, but it's like I already had like
Yeah.
the handstand holding, the flexibility. Like I was kind of set up really well for this compared to like someone randomly coming off the streets and doing it.
Right.
But the last time I timed my handstand hold without like just straight handstand, no walking, nothing, I did a minute. That was like
That's
probably a year
really
ago
good.
that I timed
Oh
it.
my God.
But yeah,
That's
I'm
amazing.
shocked that at this age, like I quit gym like 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's just been something that I love doing, and I love doing it between my workouts. So I'll just like go up into a
Yeah.
handstand between reps of
Hmm.
something, and I think it's just like because I love it so much that I'm able to do it still. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
love
fun.
that. I love that. And I wish I like kept it up as much as you did because
But you could still
girl,
do
now
it.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure I could still do it, but like I have such bad lower back issues that like I can't even
Oh,
touch my toes without like a warm up before.
no. Is it,
So
do you
yeah,
think from
don't
sitting a lot, like with work or
from yeah, probably just being more stationary and
yeah.
also I did take a bar class at this one studio in San Francisco. It's called Hot 8 Yoga. I go back and forth about leaving a Yelp review, but they basically injured me really bad.
No.
So yeah, I'm like,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
I'm so mad at
I
them.
hope I hope you
Um,
can rehab it back and get your handstands going
yeah,
again. That would make me happy.
thanks. Yeah, I've been in PT all year, so we're
Oh
working
my
our way
God.
back. So, kind of reeling it back to your foot archery here, I know we went on a little tangent. That's okay. This is trivia tangents. You mentioned, you were working in a gym at the time and you
Mhm.
were just like doing handstands like here and there. Were there any other like circus or acrobatic work that supplemented the foot archery? I know you do like the videos of like the lunk
Mm,
alarms at Planet Fitness and you do all these like crazy things to try and set off the alarm. So was there
yeah.
anything else like acrobatic to help you?
Yes. I don't know. I can't like specifically, but I feel like my whole life and a lot of my training style, I incorporate like anything gymnastics,
Yeah.
balance challenges. Like I love setting up
Yeah.
Bosu balls and like doing crazy stuff on them. Like I've done handstands on medicine balls. Like I'll just like
Oh my God.
dumbbells, like stacked dumbbells, did handstands on them. Like just kind of like a little sketchy things.
Yeah.
Get the adrenaline rush going, kind of fun. I don't know if it's technically circus stuff. Um,
hmm
I'll try to do like backflip burpees in between, like if it's a type of gym like that has turf and stuff. Sometimes I'll like
Yeah.
integrate that into my workout, just
Yeah.
because, like I've mentioned before, the gymnastic stuff is it's my whole life. Like that's the thing I've always been
hmm
passionate about, so I try to
hmm
keep it up. But yeah, the lunk alarm's
Yep.
been fun. I just doing pistol squats to a heel stretch. And somehow it's almost at like 3 million views and the internet's,
Oh
yeah, so
my
crazy.
God.
Like, what the heck?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that so much. And again, I love how you just like continue the art and skill of gymnastics. Like I feel like I took my flexibility for granted and I was like, yeah, I'm always going to be able to do the splits and handstands and everything like that. And now I'm like, whoa, my body is so different from
Yeah.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And the older I've gotten, the more that I notice, like if I take a break from doing it, I feel it more. And so it's almost
Mm-hmm.
like the older I get, the more often I have to keep it up, which has
Yeah.
definitely been like the last couple years. I feel my body kind of going, ooh, like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit more this time. But yeah, it's so much to keep up gymnastic skills. And
Yeah.
I remember my mom ingraining in me when I was a kid. She goes, you don't keep your splits up, you're not going to have your splits anymore. And I feel like that
Oh,
was
yeah.
something that just like stuck in my head where I was like, I don't, I'm so scared to like lose my
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you're going to keep them around for much longer. And then in terms of foot archery specifically, like, what are you thinking? Like, is it just a hobby right now? Is it like a cool party trick? Like, are you still practicing as much as you used to when you were training initially?
Yeah, good question. So I have the last year kind of trained a bit less. So I still like practice and stuff, and I could still
hmm
go do it. But it's been really hard to keep up with normal life, to be honest. And I think there
Yeah.
was a point where I wanted to try and perform. And I probably still could like work my way back to being at that consistency to performing. But it was like, okay, am I gonna go all in and do this? Or I have so many other things I also like to do in life that it was kind of like picking which road to go down.
Yeah.
And I always kind of kick myself because I'm like, "Ugh, I should go practice more. Like no one, barely anyone knows how to do this. Like it's such a unique skill. But then at the same
Yeah.
time, like even the pressure on my lower back, like I
hmm
the flexibility thing is pretty natural for me, but I'm also not like as hyper flexible as some of the girls that do it. Like some of them are
Yeah.
true contortionists, and I'm
Yeah.
very flexible, but I'm not a true contortionist. And so I
Yeah.
think it's a bit different of a strain on my body than it is on like Shannon Jones. Like she can just like
For sure.
flip over and bend and
Yeah.
so yeah, I've been practicing and keeping it up, but as far as performing, there was kind of a point where I wanted to, and then I decided, I don't know. Like, I have so many other hobbies that it's kind of rough to decide.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that, but don't lose this skill because it's so
Yeah,
cool,
yeah,
Elizabeth.
yeah,
And yeah, it's so cool to learn more about it. Like you said,
yeah.
there's so few people in the world that do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so cool to talk to you about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely like it is a fun party trick, like you said. Like it's so fun to just be like, oh yeah, like I do this. And um,
Yeah.
just like it's such a good, what's the word? Like a hidden
Oh, like a
talent or
fun
something.
fact
Yeah,
or
fun
hidden
fact.
talent
Yeah.
or like
I
two truths and a lie or something
yeah.
like that.
And it's like I always win. Like if it's two truths
Yeah.
and a lie, right? It's always like, well, you can't really. And so that's fun, but it's like yeah, I don't know.
And then of course we'll share some videos on the Instagram. But yeah, I love the content. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay, so shall we move on to section 3, modern day archery competitions?
Let's do it.
Section 3, modern day archery competitions. Trivia question 3. What's the maximum score you can get with a single arrow in Olympic target archery? A, 5 points, B, 8 points, C, 10 points, or D, 12 points?
10 points.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, heck yeah.
2 for
Nice
3.
even number.
Let's go. Nice even number. Yeah, the answer is like I try to mix it up, but it's like usually B or C. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Amazing. And was that just like a guess? Or you kind of had an idea?
Totally.
Okay, good.
Total guess.
I love that.
Yep. Luck of the draw.
Love it. So a little deep dive here. In Olympic archery, competitors shoot at a target 70 meters away. The target's gold center is worth 10 points, and archers aim for the perfect precision. Modern competitions include both individual and team events, with recurve bows as the standard, which I don't know what that is, but you were mentioning recurve and...
Oh my God, why did I literally just blank? Hold on. Compound bow. Literally the type of bow I have. I'm like, malfunction. That's so
okay.
bad. Compound bow and recurve.
It's okay. It's Friday. Yes. So they do it in the Olympics with recurve bows, not compound bows. Or I guess recurve bows are the standard.
Okay.
Anyways, there's also a vibrant world of compound bow competitions with the kind of arrow that Elizabeth has. So 3D archery, which is shooting at foam animal targets, and even, quote, bow hunting, end quote, competitions in the US. I don't know what that is. Like, I guess that's shooting real animals, and that's really sad.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then lastly here, just to give you guys a sort of like modern current event tying into this, the most recent gold medalist for Olympic archery was Kim Woo-jin from South Korea, who won the gold medal at Paris 2024 Olympic Games. So, a few discussion questions for you, Elizabeth. Have you ever considered trying competition archery, even just for fun? I know it's like competition isn't always fun, but has that ever crossed your mind?
Well, for foot archery, acrobatic archery, I don't think there's like a competitive league.
Yeah,
Unless
I don't think so either.
I'm not aware of one, but there's not that many of us in the world, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember when I went to Central Coast Archery, I went to shoot with one of my friends, just like with our hands, not with feet. But I brought my bow in and I was like practicing with the target, and I was kind of like, this would be cool to like learn more about like with my hands and stuff. And get good at. And like I remember seeing like some people talking about competing there, and there was like part of me that was kind of like and then I just never pursued it.
Yeah. I mean, anything like even like a Guinness World Record, like, is that something that would be interesting to you?
I mean, that would be super cool, of course.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know what it would be. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so we did fire, they did distance, like maybe
Yeah.
something with a skateboard. Like I do handstands on skateboards, like a
Oh my
moving
God.
thing. Like I've done them on Bosu balls. I started
Yeah.
training with my bow on a Bosu ball. So like,
Oh my
I don't know,
God.
maybe something like that. The Bosu ball's not as scary as the skateboard.
Yeah, I don't know. Both are very impressive for sure.
Thank you.
And also like I don't even know how do you even get someone from Guinness World Records to come record you? I don't know how that works.
I guess you probably submit an application and
Yeah.
I have no clue. I don't know.
Yeah.
To look into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, even though, yeah, we should look into it, but it's totally like this seems like more of like a hobby, like for
Hmm.
fun party trick, and that in my opinion is like kind of what keeps it light and like more fun
Yeah,
that way anyways.
for sure.
Um, because I know like as you and I were both previously competitive gymnasts, you definitely understand mental focus in competitions. So,
Hmm.
how does that compare to the mental state that you need for foot archery?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like the gymnastics focus really comes into play with foot
Yeah,
archery, especially like not even just when you're learning, but every single time that you put the bow between your feet and you go up into that handstand because it's like again it's a weapon and
it is.
you have to like really remember that because you could hurt someone, you know, something you could hurt yourself. And so I don't know if you probably know what I'm talking about. Not all the listeners totally will, but maybe they will with their own sport. But there's a certain type of like extreme focus, especially when you go on balance beam.
Oh my God, that's where
Um,
my mind immediately went.
Beam is a very different, like all the other events are, you know, nerve-wracking, but beam is very, very different, especially when you are competing in front of a judge. And it's just like
Yep.
you could get hurt, like the fear of falling off the beam, even though if you might not get hurt, it's just like also pretty shameful when you fall at a meet.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
so it's kind of like that, like kick into gear beam focus that comes
Mm-hmm.
on when I go up into the handstand um, and shoot. And you also just have to be so aware of like if something does go wrong when you're upside down, like how to get out of it properly. I think that's a really
Yeah.
big thing that I had to learn, and like also another reason why the focus is so important because you need to know like if something happens right away, how do you navigate that fall or like, you know.
Yeah. It seems like gymnastics has really prepared you really well for this. And it makes sense because, like, looking at the other talented performers, Arissa Kelly and Shannon Jones, both are previous gymnasts. So it makes so
Yeah.
much sense that not only the flexibility, the strength, the creativity, and then finally that, like, laser focus,
Yeah.
beam mentality, just everything is as one together. It's sort of like
Yeah.
a meditative
I was gonna
state.
say it's meditative. It totally is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird sort of undescribable feeling where
Yeah.
you just
You tap
you
in.
have one focus and that
No,
focus
yeah.
is doing everything on the beam and not falling off. And funny tangent, every time before beam at a meet, I always had to pee.
Nervous
I was always
pee.
like, I mean, it was either nervous pee or it was like, I don't know. I just need this out of me so that I can fully be
You know
present
what?
on
I
the
get that.
beam.
I get that.
Yeah.
I understand
So I
it.
would always be like, Coach, so sorry. Can I go to the bathroom? Like, I know I'm like on deck, but I need to go.
Oh my gosh. There is literally like gymnasts can relate. That feeling is unreal. Like
Yeah.
the beam, just the entire routine. And
Yeah.
that's yeah, that's a lot of foot archery. But actually, I would rather do a billion shots with foot archery than get up and perform a beam routine at a meet. Like, honestly.
That's so
The
fair.
thought of
That's so
doing
fair.
that, I'm like, oh gosh, that is part of my life is done. It was fun. Beam was my best event, but like, oh hell
Yeah.
no, not again.
Beam queen. Beam queen.
Oh,
What about
yes.
this, Elizabeth? What about doing the foot archery on a beam?
You know what? I feel like that wouldn't be that crazy.
Yeah, because like the canes are sort of
Yeah.
like that,
And it's not, so
elevated.
what are you talking like, okay, like English
Either
handstand hold
way.
or side handstand?
Either way.
It's like
Either way.
English,
I was thinking
that's
side
English,
hand.
right? Is that what they call it?
I think this
We
is
called it English
English where
handstand.
where your hands
Yeah.
are together and
Yeah.
you're like
Yes. You're like, yeah.
straight on with the
Versus
beam.
sideways, like the level 5 dismount.
Yep.
That would be easier.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot easier.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like I was like, okay, sideways, she could totally do it. It's like the same
Yeah.
thing as what she currently
That's not
does.
too crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that.
You could
and then,
like shoot the judge in the face.
Oh my God, this is getting graphic. I do not condone this behavior.
Okay. Not
It's
allowed.
funny. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh, that was a great tangent. I loved that. So
Me too.
we made it through all of our 3 sections here. You got 2 out of 3 trivia questions right. Round of applause for Miss Elizabeth, Miss E. Lily. I love it. Is there anything that you thought like I missed during this that you want to share about foot archery? I feel like I covered
Oh
a
my
lot of ground
goodness.
here, but like this is your space. Let me know if I missed something that you want to share about this.
Okay, there's one thing that comes to mind. This is just a
Oh
random
my God,
fact.
what?
So like you're gripping with your toes, right?
Yeah.
And everyone always asks, do your feet cramp? Do your feet hurt? You have grippy feet, like all the things. And I'm like, that is the easiest part to me, was figuring that part out.
Yeah.
Like, I
Wow.
don't know how to just, it's not that crazy. Like your feet can't, like I remember them cramping a little bit like the first time I did it, but like it's way more like the laser focus that drains you and my low back. My feet, it's like
Yeah.
whatever. Like I don't know. Like if my feet are fine, it's more so just like how intense the focus is and like even your wrists.
Yep.
Because like you can only practice so much until your wrists hurt or your low back hurts. And like everyone is always like, your feet must be cramping and killing you, or like you have strong feet. And I'm like, maybe from doing so much toe point, like just pointing my toes in gymnastics
I was about to say.
probably helps. But anyways, that's my little fun fact that everyone always asks. So
That is so funny you bring that up because that didn't cross my mind when writing this outline. And I think that's because I also, I pick things up with my feet. Like using my feet in my daily life is very normal for me. And I think, again, this stems from gymnastics. You have to point your toes all the time. When you're on the beam, you're using your toes to sort of grip it and make sure you don't fall off. Literally, they would sit on my toes to point them.
I was going to say, did your
pipe.
coach, like, we had to walk on the floor with our toes curled under. Did you do that? Like, literally walk across the floor with our toes curled under. Like, low-key, like, problematic.
That's
but
a little crazy.
I'm fine so far.
Okay, I'm glad you're fine. Clearly, it did you some. Clearly, it did you some good, some
I guess so.
assistance preparation for the bow and arrow. But that
Little
totally
did I
makes
know.
sense for me. Like your feet. Like I feel like our feet muscles are just so strong, and also it's so important to stabilize the ankle with those feet muscles. And a lot of gymnastics is punching the ground. So like that makes a lot of sense to me, and that's probably why that's not an issue for you.
Yeah. I'd be curious someone that didn't do gymnastics if they would have the same. You know what I mean?
Probably,
like if their feet,
that would be really hard.
You know? I don't know. Yeah.
Doing this episode, I feel like you already knew a lot. Obviously, you're a foot archer, acrobat, but is there anything that you learned during this that really stood out to you? What was your favorite thing that you learned?
The fact about King Henry VIII, the first, was it King Henry? Was it not the first one? That first fact you told me, which I'm going to butcher saying it, so I'm not going to say it, but that was like, I would have never thought to research that. And it's pretty cool. And just learning, I knew a lot about Arissa Kelly and all that. I didn't know the fact about Wonder Woman too. That was pretty cool to hear. I liked hearing that as well. So
yeah,
Thank you for
Very
that.
cool.
I'm educated.
Oh,
I'm
you're
ready to do
welcome.
trivia.
Thank you. Fun edutainment. Education plus
Yes.
entertainment.
Yes.
I always like to do a sort of like first section is sort of history, second section is like about what we're talking about, and
Yeah.
then third section is sort of like modern times, like future. So that's kind of like the pattern I like to follow.
I like it.
Thanks. So sounds like you had fun. Did you have fun?
Yes. Yes. Let's do it again.
Oh my God, amazing. So if you were to come again, what would you want to be quizzed on?
Probably Taylor Swift.
I was thinking that too.
And then today.
Oh my God. Yeah. What does that mean?
Okay. Did you read the post that she did?
I mean, yeah, I saw Taylor Swift's Instagram
I don't know if
post.
she's
It was
messing with us with the reputation thing.
Yeah, like basically she announced she owns all of her records, all of her music now, which is great. We love that. But are we still getting Reputation Taylor's version? Because I want those bonus tracks.
Okay, from my understanding, my sister and I were like decoding this together. We're pretty sure that she's not re-releasing Reputation because it sounded like she said that she doesn't want to go through that phase again. Maybe.
Okay.
My sister read her post out loud to me. And she thinks that she can't re-record it better. Maybe. I don't know. This is what Lauren and I were talking about. I could be making things up. But I respect that. But then I also think she still might be doing, she might release the vault tracks still.
Okay, good.
I really hope so.
Yeah, I feel like you and Lauren have a good interpretation of it. I personally, I haven't had time today to read the letter. But that sounds pretty spot on. Like, Reputation was a really difficult, emotionally charged era for her.
It was. For all of us.
For all of us, yeah. And, like, you could argue, like, it's the quote-unquote darkest of all of her albums.
Yeah.
I guess maybe not TTPD, but...
I was going to say, TTPD is, like, it's all over the place, though. TTPD is also positive. I don't know.
True. Yeah. So, Reputation, I get it. Not trying to live through it again. I do hope we get those vault tracks because I am sure they're absolutely savage.
Fire.
Wrapping up here, anything coming up for you, Elizabeth, that you want to promote on the pod? Like, we can tag your TikTok. Anything else you want to share?
Nothing crazy. I'd say like I'm still doing a lot of my like lunk alarm challenges on TikTok. So if you want to look at that, and if you like any of your listeners have any ideas of like challenges you want me to do with that, then like totally open to it. It's been a lot of fun, but I'm like getting through. I've done so many different things where I'm like, okay, what next? And so I guess just my TikTok. I post mostly on there. It's at Eliz Willie, so ELIZWILLEY, and then it's the same on Instagram if you're curious. But I don't really post a lot on Instagram. So.
Yeah, amazing. And then last question, just for people like me who were unaware, quickly, what is a lunk alarm?
Okay, so the lunk alarm is this alarm they have at Planet Fitness, and it's supposed to go off like when you're being a quote lunk. So they have different criteria for that, but mostly it's when you're doing something that's gym intimidating. So you're like trying to intimidate people, or also the big thing is dropping weights. So I don't know if they use it as much as they used to because there's been a lot of complaints. But essentially, the workers can set it off to where this like kind of blaring alarm that goes off if someone does it. So a lot of the stuff that I do isn't necessarily like going to set off the lunk alarm because I'm not dropping weight. It's more kind of like testing the limits. Like it's gym intimidating because I'm doing like kind of crazy things that you wouldn't necessarily see at Planet Fitness. Although I've seen some interesting things there too, side note, but yeah, you know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, that's the lunk alarm. That's like the gist of it. But yeah, it's a button behind the desk that they push, but there's a lunk alarm on the actual wall by the weights.
Yeah. Okay. Very good to know. Thank you so much for explaining that. I had to message Elizabeth about this a few months ago and be like, hey, so what are you doing?
It was like literally the most random. It was one of those times where you post not really knowing what you're doing. And then you get like, I was like, million views, 2 million views, three. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wasn't even thinking, and I
Yeah.
just pressed post, and then now all my
Yeah.
videos that are about the lunk alarm seem to kind of get picked up by the algorithm, which has been fun. So
Yeah. That's so fun. And if I can
yeah.
find the sound, the audio of a lunk alarm, I'll put it in.
Yes. I love it.
Wrapping up here, just wanted to say thank you to the listeners for listening to the show. This is Trivia Tangents, where we cover various trivia topics. We have new episodes released every Thursday, which I like to call Trivia Thursday. I'm your host, Lena, and special thanks to our guest, Elizabeth, for sharing her awesome insights and trivia tangents about foot archery with us. Make sure to keep an eye out for next week's episode all about rock climbing. Thanks for listening.
And learning.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a 5-star rating or thumbs up, follow or subscribe, and share with a friend. For bonus content, you can find Trivia Tangents on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, all podcast platforms under Trivia Tangents Podcast. Check out our website at triviatangentspodcast.com to purchase trivia starter packs based on these episodes. Perfect for hosting your very own trivia night.